When we watch the credit card gurus here on YouTube discussing aspirational travel, you better believe that the top two destinations always mentioned are the Maldives and Bora Bora. And for a very good reason. No one can argue that these two heavenly spots are not worth mentioning. Who doesn't love a beautiful island with great sandy beaches? Sebi and John often remind us of these great destinations. However, here is where I would like to see a bit of a pivot or more inclusion. Sebi, John, and Ben, you are all powerful credit card influencers, and therefore I would love you all to include Africa, or more specifically, the East African coastal countries as aspirational destinations. John, I'm a big fan given my Massachusetts ties, but I do affectionately refer to you as John Maldives because of your expressed or maybe implied love for traveling to the Maldives. Given that you, Sebi, and Ben all have major pull here on YouTube, I'd love to see you all mention East African countries like Kenya, Tanzania, more specifically Zanzibar, Mozambique, and Madagascar as aspirational travel destinations. When most Americans think of travel, Africa doesn't come up. I swear that if more Americans understood Kenya and its coastal islands, Zanzibar, and the coast of Mozambique, that they would be blown away. But I get it. The narrative for decades about Africa has been extremely negative. Africa has been presented, and is still being presented, to Americans by Western media as a war-torn and corrupt country. We all know Africa is a continent made of 54 independent countries. Contrast that with Europe, which is made of 44 countries. For the record, Africa is about 3 times the size of Europe. Just imagine the multitude of languages and cultures present in a continent as vast as Africa. So given its vastness, why is Africa often represented by the media in the US as though it were a single country? I have tons of theories on that one, and I could go on for hours. But the most palatable one for this channel is that it makes it easy to be dismissive of the entire continent when it's presented as a single entity. It also does a great disservice to the American public, where the average American is woefully uneducated about Africa. Why is this important to call out? Not only are Americans missing out on experiencing the many great African cultures and people, but they're also missing out on the most amazing aspirational experiences on the planet. This is a very tiny channel, but those of you who've seen my travel channel are aware that I've been visiting Kenya over and over for the past 14 months. And I can say without any hesitation that this negative narrative couldn't be further from the truth. I am not going to condemn Western media for its unbalanced and dated representation of the African continent. I will instead focus on making the case to all for the East African coastal countries to be included in the aspirational travel conversation. And I am hoping that Sebi, John, and Ben will all champion this cause. And if not, I'm gonna bug you until you do. For those of you who haven't visited the Maldives as yet, you should know that it's located in the Indian Ocean. Have a look at this map. It's located right here. Now, take a look at Kenya on this same map. It too is located on the Indian Ocean. Yes, Kenya has beaches because I know many of you weren't aware of that. Nothing wrong with that, but now you know. I would pit the beauty of the southern Diani beaches to other beautiful beaches around the world. I am partial to the beaches in Barbados, but what I love about the beaches in Diani, Kenya is the vastness of the actual beach with its incredible white sand. I still can't get over the sight of bathing in the intersection of the Congo River as it dumps into the Indian Ocean. I've swam with dolphins before, but never in the wild until I visited Kenya. I urge you all to picture yourself snorkeling and diving in this island block off the coast of Kenya and then be surrounded by a pod of dolphins swimming in the wild. It was both majestic and exhilarating at the same time. You need to add swimming with dolphins off the coast of Wasini Island in Kenya to your bucket lists. There are many outstanding hotels on the coast of Kenya, but I would pit the Swahili Beach Hotel up against the very best in the world. Hughes agrees. This dog is too much for me. No more interruptions, I confiscated the toy. Where was I? Oh, Swahili Beach Resort.
Oh, wow. Look at that pool, huh? Look at this dome. Beautiful. Look above you. Wow. It's like a cathedral. This is impressive.
It's Kenya. Guys, we know this about Kenya. We just have to tell more people.
I was not expecting this.
I live for these reactions. But guys, we all knew this. We're Kenyan. Just gotta tell people. Here.
This is unbelievably nice.
Guys, you wanna get married on the beach? Swahili Beach Resort hosts weddings. Okay.
Though I'm not a fan of the beach directly outside this resort, this hotel boasts the best spa in all of Africa, and coupled with its design and attention to detail, I highly recommend it as a must-stay or must-visit destination.
Swahili Beach Club and Spa. And the coolest part is that the spa is right on the ocean. Guys, look at this.
Yes, I'm a spa kind of guy, so they really can't keep me out. If you love great beaches, being pampered at one of the best spas in the world, and enjoy ocean wildlife exploration, then the Kenyan coast is a must. I bet some of you right now are saying, I had no idea. Again, no big deal because we don't know what we don't know. And I'm here as an American seeking to bridge the gap for you with my experiences in East Africa. Check out my travel channel here to see everything that I get into in Kenya. Now, here is where Kenya differs from the Maldives. Unlike the Maldives, Kenya boasts some of the best safaris in the world. After you've had your fill of amazing beaches, snorkeling, and wildlife diving experiences, hop into your land cruiser and make your way to one of the elite wildlife parks featuring the African Big Five. For those of you not in the know, the Big Five is short for elephants, buffalo, leopard, rhino, and the king of the jungle, the lion. Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Uganda are such pros at helping visitors immerse themselves in the safari experience. But there is no need to leave luxury behind while taking in the wildlife in the savannah. I was able to take it up a notch by staying at an ultra-luxury lodge perched on a peak of a mountain directly in the middle of the savannah. If you're doing it right, you need to stay overnight in the wildlife park like I did. I cannot do justice to the Lions Bluff Lodge in Savo West, but I will post a full video on it, and I will encourage you all to run to it because 10 Maldives trips will never be able to give you the thrill of riding in an open-air land cruiser in the midst of lions and leopards. And yes, sometimes at night, lions have visited the lodge and were caught on camera. Thank God it didn't happen during my stay. I was sure never to leave my private quarters without being accompanied by trained lodge security. Speaking of Tanzania, please add to your list the Masai Mara National Park so that you may experience the great wildebeest migration as they make their way from Tanzania to Kenya. My trip has unfortunately been interrupted after just 5 months, where demands of my US job require that I be back in New York and Boston to address some job-related matters. What that means is that I'm forced to cancel my Mount Kilimanjaro climb. Perhaps that's a good thing because I must say I was a little worried about that climb. So in summary, yes, you should experience the Maldives, but I encourage you all to open your hearts and minds regarding traveling Africa. Here, you'll not only experience great beaches and ocean wildlife, you also get to experience savanna wildlife and may further cap it off by attempting a Mount Kilimanjaro climb. So Sebi, John, and Ben, this is where you come in. Your voices are very important in the travel space. Lending your voice to help change the narrative regarding traveling Africa will go a long way to bridging cultures, which we all know is needed now more than ever. For those who managed to see this video, do me a solid and badger Sebi, John, and Ben to include the African coastal countries as part of the aspirational travel list in their videos. I'm currently trying to figure out a trip to Mozambique in 2024. My only fear is that when I get there, there's a strong possibility that I will not want to leave. The beaches of Mozambique are perhaps the best I've ever seen. I'm talking out of this world beautiful. Thank you all for watching this unconventional travel video on my credit card rewards channel. But I'm on a mission to change hearts and minds regarding traveling to Kenya and Africa as a whole. Please help out this young channel by liking, sharing this video, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Take care and be good to each other.